Hello students, today we will discuss about TCP protocol. I Aditi Prohit, Assistant Professor in Sagar Institute of Research and Technology, Bhopal. So let's discuss about TCP protocol. These are the objectives of TCP protocol. First, to introduce TCP as a protocol that provide reliable delivery of services, to define TCP features and compare these features with UDP protocol, to define the basic frame format of TCP protocol, to provide connection oriented services, how it provide connection oriented services, and to introduce different types of windows which we are used in TCP protocol, like for error and flow control. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. It is a transport layer protocol that facilitate the transmission of packet from source to destination. It is a connection oriented protocol. That means it establishes the connection prior to the communication that occurs between the communicating devices. The protocol is used with IP protocol, so together they are referred to as a TCP/IP protocol. The main functionality of TCP protocol is to take the data from application layer and it divide these data into a several packet, provides numbering to these packet, and finally transmit these packet to the destination. TCP, on the other side, will also resemble these packets and transmit them to the application layer. As we know, TCP is connection oriented protocol, so connection will remain established during the communication. Whenever the communication is completed, then only connection will terminate. This is the position of TCP protocol. TCP lies in between the application layer and network layer and serve as an intermediary between the application program and network operation. This is the basic diagram which shows TCP is a main protocol of transport layer which is used for connection oriented services. Then comes features of TCP protocol. The following are the features of TCP protocol, like process to process communication, stream delivery of services, full duplex communication, multiplexing and demultiplexing, connection oriented services, and reliable services. Process to process communication. In process to process communication, TCP provides port number. For end-to-end delivery of services, TCP uses a port number which are used to transfer the data from process to process. Then comes stream delivery of services. TCP is a stream oriented protocol as it allows the sender to send the data in form of stream of byte and also the receiver to accept the data in form of stream of byte. For this, TCP creates an environment in which both sender and receiver are connected by an imaginary tube known as virtual circuit, and this virtual circuit carries the stream of byte across the internet. Then comes full duplex communication. Full duplex communication means the data can transfer in both the direction at the same time. Multiplexing and demultiplexing. TCP uses multiplexing and demultiplexing. Multiplexing means several stations can multiply transmit the data. Then comes connection oriented services. For connection oriented services means the data exchange occurs only after the connection establishment. When the data is transferred, then connection will get terminated. And last, it is a reliable protocol. Why it is reliable? Because it always, whenever any data is lost in between, it always sends an acknowledgement whether it is received or not. Then comes well-known port numbers of TCP. For process to process communication, or we can say that for end-to-end delivery services, TCP uses a different type of process numbers, also known as port number. These port numbers are two types. Some are well-known port numbers and some are defined by the users. The table shows the well-known port numbers used by the TCP. For example, like 20 and 21 port numbers are used for file transfer protocol. For 20, it is used for file transfer data, and for 21, it is used for file transfer control protocol. Then comes stream of delivery services. I already told TCP is a connection oriented protocol. It provides reliable delivery of services through stream of byte, and it sends the data through the virtual circuit. The sending and receiving process are communicating the data through this virtual circuit. Then comes the TCP segments. As I know, TCP data is encapsulated into a header, and these headers are known as TCP segments, and these are the TCP segments which we are transferred from the sending process to the receiving process. Then comes the frame format of TCP protocol. Before discussing TCP in more detail, let's discuss about TCP packet themselves. This is the TCP frame format. Always the header size of TCP protocol is fixed. It is of 20 byte, and whenever we can add a option up to 40 byte option we can add with TCP protocol. So its header size will be 20 to 60 byte. If no options is added, header size is 20 byte. If options are added up to 40 byte, we can add the options, and size of header is up to 60 byte. This is the detailed format of TCP protocol. TCP packets in transport layer is known as TCP segments. That's why these services are known as TCP segments. First field is source port address. It is a 16-bit field that defines the port of application which is sending the data. So this field contains source port address which is of 16 bits. Then comes destination port. It defines the port of application on the receiving side. So this field contains the destination port address. Then comes sequence number. Sequence number contain the data bytes into a particular session. These bytes are reserved for transferring a stream of byte. Then comes acknowledgement number. When the acknowledgement field is set, then this contain the next sequence number of data byte and works as an acknowledgement for the previous data received. For example, if the receiver receives the segment number X, then it responds X plus 1 as an acknowledgement number. Then comes header length. It specifies the length of header indicated by 4-byte word in a header. The size of header lies in between 20 to 40 byte. Therefore, the value of this field would be in between 5 to 15. Then comes reserve field. It is a 6-bit field reserved for future use or by default all these fields are 0. Then comes flag bit. These are the 6 control bit or flags. First is urgent. It represents an urgent pointer. If this field is set, then the data is processed urgently. Then acknowledgement. If acknowledgement is set to 0, it means the data packet does not contain an acknowledgement. It only contains a data. Then PSH field. If this field is set, then it requests the receiving device to push the data to the receiving application without buffering it. Then comes RST bit. If this is set, it requests to restart a connection. Then comes synchronization. It is used to establish a connection between the host. Then comes finish FIN bit. It is used to release a connection and no further data exchange will happen. Next field comes window size. It is a 16-bit field. It contains the size of data that the receiver can accept. If this field is used for flow control between the sender and receiver and also determines the buffer allocated by the receiver for a segment. Then comes checksum field. This is an 16-bit field which is optional field in UDP, but in case of TCP/IP this field is mandatory and it is used for error detecting and correcting. Then comes urgent pointer. It is a pointer field that points the urgent data byte if the urgent flag is set to 0, and it defines a data will be added to the sequence number and to get the sequence number of last urgent byte. Then comes optional field. It provides additional field and this field is represented in 32-bit. If this field is less than 32, then padding is required to obtain the remaining byte. Okay, that's it for today. In the next video, we'll come up with another video. Thank you so much.